Happy Friday.
How are you guys?
Yeah, happy
Happy
Friday.
Friday.
Hey everyone.
An
Hey, what's going
eventful
on,
Friday.
George!
What's up?
Hello.
Hi, you have grammatical errors in your name.
Yeah.
In Spanish, which I don't even speak, and I caught it.
I can only see like 2 lines at a time. My son's complaining that his tablet keeps dying. Even though it's plugged in, it can't keep up.
No, nothing can keep up with a child on a tablet.
Oh my god. And then the worst part is, so his tablet runs out of battery. He's like, "Oh my god, my tablet ran out of battery. I need your phone." I'm like,
What is he doing?
he's just sitting on the couch watching videos while I sit here and work.
Just hear me online?
Yes, we can.
Okay, awesome. Okay, well, welcome guys to our Geek Talk for Cohort 31, who will be presenting tonight. My name is Alyssa. I am the campus manager for 4Geeks Academy. So we are going to go through a quick presentation here about who 4Geeks is. And then we have two special speakers here tonight. We have Chandler, who is the CEO and founder of BootUp, and we have Alan, who is the CEO and founder of Grammar Hub. So we're going to get to hear from them. We're going to do a Q&A panel with them, and then we're going to move into our presentations. So a little bit about 4Geeks and who we are. We are a coding bootcamp located here in Brickell. We have over 2,000 graduates total. We see about 85% of our graduates getting placed within the first 90 days of graduation. We have 10 locations in 7 different countries. So we have campuses across North, South, and Central America, as well as Europe. We already have partnerships established with major industry players, and we have been named by many different platforms as one of the top coding boot camps in the world. One example of that is in 2021, Premia Educativa Excelencia named us the top coding boot camp. We are among the top 30 boot camps worldwide by SwitchUp. 4.9 average reviews across all platforms, and we are licensed by the U.S. Department of Education. So our mission here at 4Geeks is to help reduce the underemployment rate and provide accessibility by giving access to education. So basically, taking people who maybe have no experience in tech or don't know how to code yet, putting them in a 16-week boot camp, and when they graduate, they're ready to apply for positions like full stack developer, software engineer, and they're seeing an average of 22% salary increase after completing the boot camp, which is awesome. Once again, about 86% of our students are finding jobs within the first 90 days after graduation, thanks to our 2 platforms, GeekPal and GeekForce. So let's learn a little bit about those. So GeekPal is our mentoring platform that we offer, but it's much more than that. So through GeekPal, our students have unlimited access to us and to the 4Geeks community for the rest of their lives. So when our students graduate, they never get taken out of our Slack channel. They always have access to us, to our mentorships, to one-on-one mentoring or group mentoring sessions. It's really just about creating a community of developers and one student, one graduate helping another, and always being there for them even after completing the program. GeekForce is our other main platform. This is our career support track. This is run by Adele Zapata. She's our career support representative. And Adele's job is to help students get jobs. So that's what she does all day. She has one-on-one meetings with students, helps them with their resume, with their LinkedIn, with their GitHub, anything she can do to help them be ready to apply for jobs, and then also help them through the application process, through the follow-up process, up until the day that they're placed. So this is also unlimited. So our students use this to not only land their first job, but also to upgrade their position after being a junior developer for a few years. They can come back to GeekForce, update their resume with their junior position, practice their interview skills a little more so that they can even upgrade to a more senior position with GeekForce. Here's just some examples, some companies that have hired our students. So you can see here a bunch of different logos of companies that our students are working at. We have students working at National Geographic. We have students working at Microsoft, GitHub, and more. And here are some partners that we work with, whether it be financing partners, partners that provide scholarships, partners like Miami-Dade College that we partner with to offer certain courses. So these are just some examples. And our speakers tonight. So I briefly introduced them before, but we have Chandler, who is the CEO and founder of BootUp. We have Alan and Kyle here, who are the co-founders of Grammar Hub. And then our projects tonight, we have 4 projects presenting. We have Chef Up, Lifehack, The Drink Link, and Leaf It to Us. So thank you. Without further ado, I will present Chandler, who is our first speaker tonight.
Hey everyone, my name is Chandler. I'm the founder and CEO of BootUp. At BootUp, we've built an educational labor marketplace that helps people get their first jobs in tech, regardless of their academic or professional background or experience. So what that means is we'll find individuals who are looking to upskill, help them understand what is the best actual skill set for them to pursue, right? Everyone here is learning software engineering, but some folks are better suited to be UX UI designers. Some people are better, suited for tech sales or customer success. And so we'll give candidates an assessment to basically help them understand what they're best suited for. Once we understand that, then we'll introduce candidates to the best boot camps for their life situation. So I guess since launching our product in July of 2021, we've placed over 650 candidates in their first jobs in tech for over 46 million in annualized salaries. Obviously super proud of the work that we've done, but it would not have been able to be done, right, without institutions like 4Geeks that have actually been doing the work of training the individuals, training the candidates, and also the actual individuals, the actual candidates, actual students themselves, putting in the work during the boot camps themselves. Definitely, we understand that this is not easy. You're stepping out of your comfort zone, both in terms of subject matter and, amount of work that you had to put in. And then also still kind of carrying, that resilience through the job search process. And so excited to be able to work with, I feel like just like such a bright, talented, hardworking subset of people. I'd like to share maybe just like a couple success stories of folks that we know who have come through boot camps. So there's a young woman here in Miami named Ariana, the technologist. And so she goes by that name just, for some of her personal branding. But she graduated from a boot camp 3 years ago, worked for a company for 3 years, just honing her skills, getting more comfortable with just various languages, working in a professional environment, etc. And then last year, she quit her job to then pursue building her own company. Since then, she's been able to raise millions of dollars for her company at, over $20 million, worth of valuation. And that's been all from the skills that she gained when she came through boot camp, and those skills that she continued to gain in those first few years of professional work. And so I know that everyone's outcome is not going to be like that, but I like to speak to Ariana's story because it just shows the power of the skill that everyone's gaining. And so really excited for everyone, really encouraged for everyone. I encourage everyone who is in the job search process to come visit us at www.joinbootup.com. We've got relationships with over 80 employers right now and over 125 jobs on the platform that are specifically geared towards boot camp and vocational training school graduates. So, no college degree is required. These companies have programs in place to hire you specifically, so not wasting time, applying for, jobs with companies that maybe are a little bit kind of behind the 8 ball and still understanding the opportunity in hiring boot camp graduates. And then I also would love to just share like my personal email for anyone to reach out to us for any type of career support, any type of questions that they might have. You can reach out to me at chandler@joinbootup.com. And so really excited. Thank you so much for just having me and having us here. And a huge congratulations to everyone for graduating. And we'd love to be as helpful to everyone as possible through the job search process.
Thank you, and thank you very much for coming. So our next speaker is Alan, who is also a founder. He founded a platform called Grammar Hub. So he's gonna come over here next.
Thank you. I was saying, Chandler, that's a tough act to follow there. So hi, so my name is Alan. I'm with the Grammar Hub, and we kind of fill a similar gap to Boot Up, in which we provide a community on a Slack mostly right now to help you go from bootcamp to job as well. Where we focus is on not to forget the things that you're learning right now, but to continue doing, your exercises, your projects, which is something that we always see as you finish your with If you don't continue this work, you might lose some of it, like any language. We started a couple of years ago. It was three friends, and the mission has always been that is to continue the conversation for anyone who is trying to move into tech from other, especially when you're switching careers. There's a lot of lack of support for somebody who's already been doing some kind of work for the last 10 years professionally, and then now you're betting everything to move into tech. And my friends, we had that experience, and I've seen in Grammar Hub in 2 years, we've seen all kinds, from retail, from medical, from labor, teaching, music, photography, people that are self-taught or in boot camps and then they want to make this switch to career. In tech, it takes work. It takes work, and we make it easier for you to, go through programs like Chandler, in which, you need to get used to the interviewing, your resume, your LinkedIn, your website, your portfolio. It makes it easier for Chandler to place you if you already have all those things. And then I think one of the questions that we're going to talk about later too is that balance between coding and your personal skills. That's, you have to relate to people like any other job. Sometimes the stress of learning a new career can overcome that. But, programs like ours, I'm sure Buddha has the saying, we make it easier for you to make that transition. So, no, thank you for the invitation for 4 Gigs, and congratulations to all of you for making it this far.
Thank you, Alan, for coming too. So now's the part where we actually move into a Q&A panel. So if the 2 speakers wouldn't mind coming back up here, and we will move into the Q&A. Awesome. Okay, so my first question for you guys is, what inspired you to build your specific platforms for Boot Up, and for Grammar Hub? What did you see in the need, and why did you decide to build it?
You want to take it first?
To start with personal, I have $2, And one of the things I've seen in my career in tech is the lack of support also for women to move into tech. And it's usually small shops, it's mostly men. Like you see here, the demographic is mostly men, and as you're seeing here online too. But they will be great to have that support built up because it requires time. It requires a community of people to a diversity group to move into tech. And I just happened to find two good guys in the group where I was. I was in a bootcamp. That's how I met them. We, we're from South America. There's this whole diversity group that we had, and I was like, we should provide more of this for more people, and that's how it came about. And 2 years later, here we are.
I would say that our story is kind of similar in terms of just seeing opportunities for people in the space, and so I'll say just kind of like the seed planted in this. I feel like was planted in me, like in middle and high school, where I was able to have an opportunity to see just kind of like a wide demographic of the population. Had opportunity to see individuals whose parents had sold tech companies. And also, had people really close to me whose, financial situations were not great, right? And things were difficult. And seeing the difference in life for, folks who had parents who had sold tech companies versus folks who were in a different place. And then, even looking up after I graduated college, right? And seeing like where folks were at. I realized really, tech is the industry that provides the most upside for anyone, whether you're a salaried employee or you're an entrepreneur. But also of industries that really have, high paying, opportunities, it's the one with really the lowest barrier of entry. And so I felt like this piece of thinking about, friends from the past and what can I do in my own life to be able to make life easier for a similar person in said situation, as an adult. It seemed like, okay, well, this is the highest upside career opportunity with the lowest barrier of entry. This is probably like one of the best ways to be able to do it. And then just also just even knowing like what tech has done, in my own life to be able to share that with other people, I think is powerful. So.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. My next question is, what is the biggest challenge that you guys faced in building these platforms, and how did you overcome it?
Yeah, I guess. So I'll say for me, honestly, I think it was mentality. Things can change very quickly and expectations can change very quickly. And sometimes it has taken me personally a little bit longer to adjust to the situation. Whether it's, we have 2 employees and now we have 5, and, 5's not a lot, but it's twice the size. And so, when things change, sometimes you look at yourself in the mirror or you look at what you're working on the same way that you did a month ago, and you could be in a completely different place. And so like, that's definitely just been difficult. But also it's been like an incredible opportunity to grow. And so in terms of overcoming it, I think still working on like finding the ways to do that. But really just working harder on like staying present, and also like celebrating like those small victories that you get every day, right? Like whether it's completing a challenge, right? Or just like having a good conversation with a customer. And like celebrating those like small things in the present, I think has helped me to move mindset forward to like where I am currently versus, where I was, a month ago. So yeah.
Yeah, for us, not even COVID was in the way. We did our first meetup in person. That was March 9 of 2020. By that Friday, the world closed, and we moved that weekend online, and we continue every Monday ever since. So, I think the largest thing that we had to overcome was just to keep going. We have Kyle was our first, pretty much like a project lead in every Monday for almost a year. Like every Monday we'll sit down, do projects, and new people will come in, and new people will go, and new people will come in. And then it was Donald, and it was, other people that came. And I know we have a core group now also of 5 people. And it's all volunteers. Some of us are already in tech, full-time jobs, full-time lives. We'll still come every Monday and keep supporting. And we want more people to continue that work because you provide a platform for others to keep growing, and you want to see that. And like you say, this kind of work, to work and take allows you, to some benefits that you don't get anywhere else. Today, half my company was off just because it was Good Friday, like you were talking about earlier. But, like we know in Miami, pretty much 80% of the people work today, so yeah, it's rewarding to keep doing this work. And just, I think, the same as Chandler.
Cool, thank you. Next question. So what skills do you think are important for boot camp grads to focus on during these first 90 days of graduation? And do you think that the soft skill side or the technical skill side is more important?
So I think it is impossible to say that one side is more important than the other. At the end of the day, you're getting hired for a job. And so being able to show technical competency, a lot of times is kind of like table stakes, baseline kind of level. The smaller of organization that you're applying to work with, the more that stands true. And the larger the organization that you're applying to work with, typically they will have more training resources to be able to help you grow. But at the end of the day, right, you're getting the job to be able to write software. And so that is going to be very important. The interpersonal piece, though, is like, I cannot overemphasize this. Like I talked about, younger companies maybe looking for more technical competency because they just need more out of each employee because they have, fewer resources. With that being said, I look to, a candidate that we hired right out of boot camp who stepped into a leadership role for us as a product manager, both guiding product, but also writing code. And it's not that she was as strong of a software engineer as someone who has 10 years of experience, right? Like that's impossible to have, just graduating from a boot camp. But when we spoke and we went through the interview process, we learned that she brought so much more to the table than just her ability to write software, that it was like, we need you on our team. And so just to kind of speak to her specific example, she had built a company that helped people optimize their resumes for applicant tracking systems. And for us, we're trying to help people get hired. And so someone with a knowledge of what applicant tracking systems are looking for, is like super important to have. And so, I highlight that example just to say that the interpersonal piece can bring more for you than what one could expect for you to know technically at this stage in your career. And so while the technical piece is table stakes, that interpersonal piece is what can get you opportunities that you maybe hadn't imagine that you would have been a great fit for.
Yeah, and I mean, not much to add there, right? I think for new grads, it's very important that you keep coding every day. 90 days, if you already finish your project, like you're gonna show today, even if you didn't finish, sometimes people don't finish their capstone and they still got to the end of the bootcamp. You have to keep going. You have to keep going because you're gonna need that on the interviews, and then you need to practice for an interview. Those coding questions on an interview, those are very important. Challenge yourself, because now that you are off the hook with doing this for 4 to 6 hours a day, you might take it down to 1 hour a day. You still need to keep, coming back to those exercises, those problems, your portfolio, right, or your links on LinkedIn and all that, because that just shows the employers, that you're already prepared, that you're ready to start. You're not just a coding grad. I mean, you already did all the work that everybody expects you to have, like you say, at the end of the day, for a job. So certainly, yeah.
Great, thank you. And very last question, what do you guys expect for the future of Miami Tech?
Love this question. So excited for Miami. I'll even share yesterday, an organization called Venture Miami had a large hiring fair at Miami-Dade College. This migration, I feel like that's happened from tech workers from, the Bay Area, from New York, from really all over the world. Miami, over the past 2 years, I feel like this is just the very beginning. And I think that there's a huge opportunity for Miami's tech ecosystem to become more inclusive of the Miami community and not just transplants. And so I think as we look over the next 5 to 10 years, galvanizing, training, getting folks who have been born and raised, lived in a part of the community in Miami into the tech ecosystem in larger and stronger numbers. I think is inevitable, but B, I think as we're thinking about this long-tailed growth and it not just being a couple years of excitement, that's what it's going to take. And so really excited to see this play out.
Yeah, I really, really love this question. I've been involved, with this group over the years, at different stages, and obviously you can't talk about Miami Tech without talking about, Mayor Suarez, Mayor Neal, and then you have, Matt Hagman at this organization too. So it's just it's so much good things that are happening right now in Miami. Obviously Chandler is an example of that, right? He just moved all the way from Tulsa, from Oklahoma, to do his business here too. He could stay over there and still do it, right? But there is a lot of potential here, which is exciting for new grads too, because that brings more companies get to be also on salary levels, to larger hubs, in tech. So, with the Brightline we were talking about, it's also gonna increase the transportation thing, and there are always things that need to be figured out here in Miami, to allow for that, for traffic, parking, and what have you. But being in tech, allows you to also be remote. Like many people, like yourself, right? You don't have to be. Those are some of the benefits that other people don't get that are not in tech. So certainly, it's a great move. For everybody to be in this particular region right now, and especially in tech. So, yeah.
Awesome. Great answers. So that was it for the Q&A panel, but I just want to thank you guys again for coming and thank you for your time. And I'm sure our students appreciate a lot that you guys were here today. And what I'd like to do as well is send this graduating cohort and also our entire student body via Slack information on how to join both Boot Up and Grammar Hub so that they can get involved in your guys' community. So we'll definitely be doing that. So thank you guys again so much for coming. So we're going to move right into our projects. So our first project is F Up with Jake, Jeffrey, and Wayne. So we will move right into that.
All right, ready to kick it off? Good evening, everybody. My name is Jake Ledner. This is Jeff Alley, and then we've got Wayne joining as well. So this is Chef Up. This is our final project. Like I said, I'm Jake. Right now I work at Citrix as a cloud business operations manager. So I joined 4Geeks just to get some more technical experience, learn to write some code better than I did before. And I wanted to join 4Geeks so that I could get some experience and potentially move into product management, and then also build some side projects on my own.
Yeah, so my name is Jeff. I work here as like an office assistant intern for 4Geeks Academy. Also deliver food. I have like a lot of little side jobs, but I really love tech. I've loved what I learned here, and my goal is just to continue to learn and just start my career as well. And let me go ahead and introduce my our third partner, Wayne, who's connected via the stream.
Hi guys, sorry I couldn't be there. It's a 9-hour drive. My name is Wayne Bailey. I have an educational background in information technology, and throughout that coursework, I had some intro, programming and stuff like that. But I joined 4Geeks to get actual deeper dive into current, technologies used in actual web, application development. I just want to expand on that, and hopefully move into a developer position.
All right, thank you, Wayne. So Chef Up is a recipes and meal planning app, and we'll tell you a little bit more about it. All right, so walking through the agenda here, first we're going to start out with why Chef Up, what was the inspiration for the project, and the reasons that we came up with it. We'll talk through some of the reasons why now is a good time for an application like this one. We'll discuss some of the technologies that we use to create Chef Up, some of the key decisions that we made when building the project, And then we'll go through a demo where we'll show you how it works and all the functionality. And then lastly, we'll discuss some of the challenges that we faced along the way and some of the motivations that led to, and then also some future enhancements for the project. All right, so why Chef Up? This one's actually a little bit of a personal reason. So my family's got, specifically my dad, he came up with he had a whole cookbook of ideas for recipes and everything. Meals that had a focus on simplicity. So meals that were like not a lot of ingredients, pretty quick to make. And just for people like ourselves who didn't really want to go online, find a recipe that took 3 hours, 4 hours to make. They just wanted something simple and quick. So we really liked that idea, and then we liked the idea of being able to customize our own solution to build something out like that to our specifications. So some important facts and reasons behind the project for also why now is a good time for a recipes and meal planning app like this one. So throughout the pandemic, we've seen some new trends in food. There's a lot of people working from home, as everybody knows. Almost 2/3 of shoppers polled they eat far more meals at home than they used to. So that's really common now. I mean, I know for me, I work from home, and I cook lunch every day when I used to not. So that's definitely a common trend. And then also people are trying to be healthier than ever. Throughout the pandemic, nearly 1 in 3 Americans have said their eating habits have become healthier. So that's just a really common trend, and something that we try to focus on at Chef Up, having simple, easy to cook meals that are healthy and cater to these trends. All right, so real quick, some of the technologies that we used when creating Chef Up. We used React, Python, Flask. We used SQL Alchemy for the backend database, Spoonacular API for data source, and then Postman to test things out, and Bootstrap for styling. Some of the key design decisions that we faced along the way, one of which I already touched on, which is this simple meal focus that kind of ties back to the inspiration for the project. But we really focused on quick meals subset, meals that take less than 30 minutes to prepare, to cater to people like ourselves who don't want to spend all evening cooking. They just want to make something quick, healthy, something that tastes good. And the next piece here that we wanted to touch on is the tailored recommendations. So this was a key decision that we made in trying to cater to the specific users we're going to be using the app, take into account some of their preferences and dietary restrictions. So that is specifically built into a feature that we made called the random meals generator that Jeff's going to touch on later. And then lastly, we wanted to have some takeaway, some deliverable where users can get some grocery list that they go and take to the store with them, and it aggregates all of the meals that they're planning on cooking and all the ingredients they need, so they can go and make all the recipes that they want to make for the week. All right, so this takes us to the demo. So Wayne, if you want to take over and start sharing screen, go for it. All right, so this right here is Chef Up. This is our landing page. This is our application here. And right now we're going to start out with the user who is maybe checking on the website for the first time. So they're just showing up, seeing what it's all about. So this user sees, a search bar, some icons to search by meals by cuisine, but maybe they don't know exactly what the website's about. So we see a little toast icon pop up in the bottom right that says, "Hey, are you new? Come and check out the tutorial." So this tutorial will show how the website works. So it starts by enumerating a bunch of cards that have different meals and some key features about those meals. So prep time, calories, number of servings, and an estimated price. And then if those things look good, you can add to cart. Alternatively, you can click into the meal and see additional details like recipes and things like that. So continuing on here. So once these meals are added to the cart, the user can then see how these meals look within the cart and all of the ingredients that comprise the meal. And if all of that looks good, they can continue on and add to the grocery list, which is what we see here. So these are all the ingredients that comprise the meals that these users are adding to the cart, and then they can check out with these meals and take this to their grocery store. All right, so navigating back onto the home page. So we're gonna, in this situation, we have a user who is already logged in. So there's a sign up page for users who want to sign up. But in this situation, we're going to be walking through with a user who already has an account. So we've got Peter Parker here logging in. So yeah, go ahead and click log in there, and then we'll see a new section that pops up. That's this trending page right here. So these are meals that are most popular, meals that are clicked on, or most frequently added to cart. So we can go ahead and grab one of those specific meals there. Maybe just the National Hot Dog Day official hot dog cupcakes. So you can go ahead and add that one to cart real easily. Similarly, you can keep scrolling down, and we'll see meals by cuisine here. So our user, Peter Parker, really into Mediterranean food. So we might want to click on that one and see what we've got on the Mediterranean section there. So we got a handful of meals here. This shrimp scampi zoodles kind of jump off the page. So, and Peter might want to know, more specifically what's within this meal. So click into that one, Wayne, and we can see some additional details about how it's made, additional recipe, or all the ingredients that are made, and the recipe and everything else. We can go ahead and add this one to cart as well if everything looks good. And then lastly, there's search bar in the top, and Peter can go ahead and just enter into the search bar whatever meal he's looking for. So in this case, he's looking for chicken today. So go ahead and search for chicken, see what meals come up. A couple good looking meals here. We got the chicken burger with spiced rub. That one looks pretty good, so you can go ahead and add that one to the cart too, Wayne. All right, so that's looking good. We can head on over to the profile, and in this case, each user has a different profile with some preferences that they enter when they sign up. So in this case, Peter is he's got a peanut allergy, he's got a sulfite allergy. He's shown his dietary preferences are vegan. Similarly, he's also got favorites that he can add. So if you flip over to the favorites part, he's got some caprese salad appetizers that maybe he added the last time that he knew he wanted to order again. So we can go ahead and just click on that one, maybe favorite or unfavorite, or add that one to the cart. All right, awesome. Then lastly, we've got one other feature to display, and this one is for users who maybe they don't know exactly what they want next. And I'll go ahead and let Jeff talk about this one.
So in this case, Peter Parker is just having a great time finding all the recipes that he needs. But to ask Mary Jane what she wants to eat, maybe a different conversation. And he already knows that he'll ask her, maybe she'll say, I don't know. And they've had this conversation 1,000 times already, like many of us had. So Peter, he's pretty quick on his feet. He remembers that there's a random meals generator, kind of to give suggestions to the user, kind of helps speed up that process. So he goes ahead and he hops over there, has the intolerances and that diet that he put that preference for. He's trying to eat healthier, so he's trying out a vegan diet. And he remembers that Mary Jane, she's lactose intolerant, so he's gonna go ahead and Wayne can click dairy as well there to make sure those results kind of fit what they're looking for. They both look at the suggestions together, and of course they just start scrolling through, and they're looking, and looks like that pasta is what is catching their eye. So they go ahead and they add that to the cart. They found something, of course, they agree on, and they even click on the cart icon, which is in the top right. And by doing that, they can just review all the recipes, and Mary Jane can give that seal of approval to all of them, just to make sure they both can eat together, of course, over that weekend. And then lastly, Peter has the option to flip over to the grocery list. And from there, they can double check everything they'll need for their grocery run. Of course, Mary Jane reminds him that just stuff at the very top, they actually already have in the fridge, so they don't even need that. So he can go ahead and just delete that. And from there, they're set for the weekend. Peter's ready to just eat healthy and just fight some crime. I'm going to pass it back to Jake.
All right, thank you, Jeff. I'm going to go ahead and continue sharing with the presentation here. All right, so this takes us to some of the challenges. We hope you like our project, but some of the challenges that we faced along the way were, just researching some of the difficult topics when we ran into problems, knowing what to search and how to find what we were looking for in order to fix whatever issue we we're running into. One of the additional challenges was trying to structure the web page so that it was easy for a user to navigate and easy and intuitive to understand what was going on. And also, we had a ton of ideas, things that we wanted to implement, but figuring out exactly which ones were the most time efficient in the timeline that we had, and then also, which ones that were just gonna have the best end result for the user. So lastly, some key takeaways. Me, Jeff, Wayne, we all had a great time building this project out. It was a lot of fun, a lot of challenges to overcome, but overall, really positive experience. There are a couple of additional features that we think would be great to add if we had, a couple months rather than, a couple weeks. But one of those would be, some grocery store or Instacart integration where you could have these meals, delivered to you or pick them up or aggregated at a grocery store specifically. We started down that path, realized it was going to be a little bit too tricky for the timeline, but it would be great to add later down the road. Then next, also a cost optimization algorithm. So maybe pairing together different grocery items that use similar ingredients so that users who add a meal to a cart might be suggested with another meal that uses similar ingredients so that they can optimize for what they're buying for. And then lastly, a machine learning based meal recommender that might say, hey, you usually order this kind of thing. How about this other meal that's in that same category, and uses historical data to recommend additional meals. So those are suggestions for the future. But we hope you enjoyed our project. We really enjoyed building it. And a big thanks to 4Geeks, all of the mentors, to George, our instructor, all of our classmates who kind of, helped bring all of this stuff together and give us the knowledge that we needed in order to build out this project. So really appreciate it, and we're looking forward to hearing any questions anybody has.
Woo! Ovations. Great job, guys. Very well done. The project is very well done, and also a great presentation. Thank you.
How many types of pizzas are there available in your app?
Pizzas? I don't know. We could probably do a quick search and tell you.
I think they were geared towards healthy eating, Michael.
Oh.
I think there was a pizza on there. I think I saw it last time when they were doing it.
There's a pizza right here.
It's like a toasted
yeah, guys. So we have Chandler here asking what was the most difficult part of the presentation, or sorry, not the presentation, of the project. That's a tough one. I don't know, Jeff. You got any ideas?
I'd say, I'd say kind of like prioritizing and choosing what we can and can't do in the time. We had like just so many other ideas, and I think even after the boot camp, we can take a shot at implementing them. It'd be really cool. But like for having a deadline and knowing, April 15th, you have to like put something together. Kind of like prioritizing, I think was our biggest challenge. Wayne had like a ton of ideas too, even though he's not here.
Yeah.
Ton of
Yeah, I
ideas.
agree.
Yeah, honestly, on that note too, like I said, we started down the path of trying to integrate with Kroger, which is a grocery store, to have those meals aggregated, and realizing that, we can't go too far down that path and have it not work and then not have anything to show for it. So we kind of had to pump the brakes on that and focus on, some other things, the other features to add and things like that. That would be, guarantee slam dunks that we would know we could work on and implement.
Always lose findings out. Not the idea to continue, but I see every time I grammar that I have to continue is up to you guys. And they have it live also, because that's kind of like your business plan over and over again. I will ask you in a job interview, walk me through your problem, through your code, and you tell me, I want to see how you were able to. Or you're using your code, because helps to keep working on it. If the area is good, you gotta be better to understand.
Absolutely. That's a great point. And, kind of ties into another challenge that we had, which was also, Jeff or Wayne would go spend, hours coding something up. And then, I would do a git pull and be like, oh, what do they do? And I would have to go read it and try to understand. So yeah, being familiar with the code is super key. Any other questions?
Thank you guys. Great opening project. So now our next project is Lifehack, which is by Jason and Robert. So you guys can share your screen and take over.
All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Rob. A little bit about myself. I joined 4Geeks because I've always been interested in tech, and I was looking for a career change. Right now, I'm a firefighter, and I've had a lot of fun learning because I knew nothing about code until I started, and now I've learned so much. And just being in the program has really taught me a lot about the tech world and all types of different codes that I never knew. So we pass it to Jason. Introduce himself.
Hello, everyone. How's everyone doing? Pardon, I'm having a bit of technical difficulties on the camera side. My name is Jason Meppervert, and I'm also very passionate about the tech world. I've never really been involved in coding because my current work field is not too directly involved, but I've always been interested. So this was a great opportunity for me to learn, and it's been a great learning experience. So I'm looking forward to continuing learning and developing my skills as I go on. I'll pass it back to my partner.
Okay, so this is our final project presentation. This is Lifehack. So we're going to go right into the technologies. The technologies that we use is React for the framework, CSS and Bootstrap for the styling, Python and the API for the backend, and lots of coffee for the late nights that we were trying to code this thing. Go on to the next line. Okay, so how and why Lifehack came about. So we kind of drew our inspiration from being that person. I don't know if this has been you guys but I know that it's definitely been me, and it's definitely been my partner, where we've been in the gym and we don't necessarily know what workouts to do, or you don't have the information for that, or actively you're taking medications and supplements to help with your nutrition, and you don't necessarily, you have an idea, but you don't necessarily know what these things do to our body. So we wanted to create something that instead of having to search up all this different information, that has to do with nutrition and it has to do with health and working out, that they could just come to one place and be able to access that information so that they could hack their lives. So nowadays, people are becoming more aware of their health and more aware of their medications and the things that they do to the body. And we wanted to cater to that. And we wanted to create this application strictly to cater to people who are too busy to look up all of this information. So without further ado, I'm going to pass it to my partner, and he's going to give you guys a demo of our website.
Hey, everyone, again. I'd like to welcome you to our site. This is Lifehack. Here's our landing page. Here we wanted to give somewhat of a glimpse of what our core identity is all about. showcasing a little bit of our features to our users, but not giving much other than a hint. Then we would go here and log in, go under one of our users, and we'd be welcome into our dashboard. Our user here, Cliff Break, is very busy, it seems. Like the concept is working, he's made some appointments. So you'd ask, what is the goal of this page? The goal of this page for us was to keep it simple and short and sweet and give our users general knowledge, daily motivation, nutritional information, and a weekly exercise log, things that they can use on the go and sticking to our main concept. On that note, take us to our nutritional information page. Here we wanted to essentially give our users in detail a bit more information about something that is health oriented that they may not be too aware of because, you know, all the daily distractions of life. And now our user logs into our page. They are somewhat motivated. They've learned a little bit about something that they might not know that's health oriented. So they're thinking, okay, let me take some action. I want to, you know, they're busy. They're on the go. They have goals and places to be, and maybe they want to get jacked or they'd like to get hacked. It's a little concept of ours. We want to hack their habits. We want to incentivize them. We want to give them tools like in this page, a plethora of exercises and demonstrations that they can choose from, such that they could cater to their every physical activity need. So our user here, say, is going to form a workout, or you could search for a specific muscle group, choose a simple classic one, like this. This is chest dip. Take you to the more detailed page where you learn a little bit more about the exercise. It'll give you a bit more on the demonstration, the targets, the equipment needed, and your body part. So would add that, and would also like to add a secondary exercise. Could also filter for that, and would add another classic exercise. Our demonstrations. So now our user would like to finish their workout with a finisher exercise because they're busy, they're on the go. And they want to close it out. Here, go to another classic exercise, and here we are. Now go to our dashboard, and surely you'll notice that here is our exercise log is filled. But see, our user is busy, and maybe they don't want too many exercises, and maybe it's overkill. So they'll go back on select the exercise, and then back to the dashboard and find that their exercise is no longer there, and now it's just right to cater to their plans. Now, they've learned a little bit about motivation. They've learned a little bit about general knowledge. They've been motivated enough to set up their plans and make some commitments. But our user may have a condition. In this case, he has asthma. And so this is where educating yourself onto what meds you can take, what options you would have, and what it does to your body. We wanted to cater to that specific need. And so we included MedSearch. And here would get a different array of options catered to that specific need. We have different medications, and say our user would like to learn more about one of these. Could be taken to this page where we would learn about the different descriptions, the adverse reactions, the many dosages and strengths. We wanted to give our users a lot more detail for every medication such that they can compare and make a well-informed decision. Now, they've learned about a little bit about fitness, a little bit about health. They've got their medication, and now they're ready to make some commitments and close out their session and make some plans. So we wanted to give them an option for that. So we included a planner such that they can fit into their schedule however they see fit their plans. So say an appointment, talk to the nutritionist. And later on, we could add other appointments and other commitments. And that is the core concept of our application. Moving onwards, there were a few challenges that we were faced with. And two of the bigger ones were the many user stories and ideas that we kind of had, but we wanted to stick to the ones that really fit the mold and the concept that we brainstormed essentially. Another challenge that came by the way, influenced by the many stories, were the many APIs that we ran into because of the influence of health, and there's so many wide array. We didn't know exactly how to make it such that they would work seamlessly, but through rigorous work with mentors, we essentially got the ones that we needed for the appropriate effect that we were targeting. Looking into the horizon, we really want to expand into the idea of health-oriented lifestyle planning, and we're looking to add other features such as a randomizer that takes 4 exercises and varying set numbers of rep and ranges, along with an additional page for medicinal physical supplementation, and nootropics that help with your mental aptitude. And we really want to give our users a bigger, more immersed experience. In closing thoughts, we'd like to say thank you to the Academy, to the 4Geeks Academy, the staff, the mentors for the rigorous hours that they spend with us, and George for having so much patience and helping us out throughout the whole process, and our classmates as well for being there and asking all the questions that illustrated many points that George went on to explain. And thank you everyone for your time as well. That is all we have for tonight. If there are any questions.
Thank you guys. Good job.
Thank you.
Very well done.
Does anybody have any questions?
Yeah.
We have one here on campus.
Sure.
Just a quick question. When you were doing all of the options, what was the biggest challenge, to manage all that information? I know you went into the medical information too, being so much information in it, to parse through keywords and things like that. Or, what was the biggest challenge, I guess, altogether?
I would say one of the biggest challenges in that respect was the time frame. We were kind of working under the clock, but through the supervision of our mentors and our professor, we really got down to it and tried to follow the blueprint that 4Geeks set out for us, and we kind of got the effect that we desired. We'd, in the future like to add on more, but yeah, that was the biggest challenge overall.
Any other questions? Okay, well, if there's no more questions, thank you guys very much for presenting. Great job as well. And we can move into our next presentation, which is The Drink Link by Abraham and Angelo.
Right, thank you everyone.
Hello everyone. 1 second. Hi, how are you? Can you see my screen?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you. Well, today we're going to introduce to you that we call the Dream Link, right? I am the guy on the right, Abraham Prieto. I am I have a IT background, okay? Some coding on the past, but long time ago. Well, I joined to 4G Academy because I always it's a be a challenge for me learn some coding, do some application. More than looking for another career, I looking for more for myself, doing like maybe freelancer and stuff. Um, and now I going to pass the word to Angelo, my partner in this project.
Yeah, so my name is Angelo Mayele. I'm a chef, but a few months ago I have to stop my business because I have a problem in my food and I won't be able to cook anymore. And I decided to, yeah, learn to code, to change career. I have a few programmers in my family, so yeah, I just follow them, and I'm really glad that I did this course.
Perfect, excellent. So we're going to enter to the subject. Now we have the Dream Link. The Dream Link is a web application that contains cocktail directory where you can find instruction, recipe for different drinks, and is in 3 languages. It allows you to register user to save favorite cocktails and create like a shopping list when you need to buy that ingredients on the supermarket. The application is responsive. That means that you can see it wherever device you have, iPhone, Samsung, because we already do the job that you can use it in whatever device you have. So why cocktail? Well, I we create this platform thinking of those cocktail lovers. Some people say, "Oh, what are gonna eat tonight?" Some people say, "Hey, what can I drink tonight?" So now you have application that can allow you to do that. Even if sometimes you have a question, "Hey, how can I do a mimosa?" We have the recipe for that. How can you can do a daiquiri? We have a recipe for that. So now you can be like a bartender on your home. Have the way to prepare every recipe. It can be like a um, you say your own repository, surprise your friend and that stuff. We very nice cocktails. Okay. This application have a API. There is a contain a database with more than thousand of different type of cocktails. One of the big challenges for this application was to learn how to manipulate the information because the API give you a lot of the information, but you don't necessarily have to use it all. So only need a part that one is going to the best for the user, right? So that was one of the challenges because it's a lot of information here there. You need to learn how to organize. Another big challenge was to connect to the front end with the back end. More for the shopping list. This is something I don't want to go ahead. You will see on the demo, but this is something that allow you to the user save the ingredients from the recipe in case they want to, prepare that drink and say, okay, now what I need. So you save it, you go after a war or whatever to buy your ingredients for your drink. Okay, the tool we use React. They allow you to build the interface, okay, in a very pretty easy way. JavaScript is the programming language that I use for the front end. Bootstrap and CSS give you the style, give you the everything looking good, it give you the way to do the responsive design. Okay, Python is the back end that we use to create our own APIs in the application. The SQL Alchemy is, the SQL is the database. The SQL Alchemy is allow us to build the database, create tables and relationship a very easy way. That is going to be more hard to do it if you do it only using SQL script. Flask is allow you to create the API. And finally, Postman is a good friend. They allow you to test your API before you starting doing all the requests you need to do on the front end. That way you don't waste time, okay? So now I'm going to pass to Angelo. He's going to give you the presentation application and show you the cool ideas. Thank you.
Okay, so this is the main page before you log in. As you can see, we love illustrations. I'm gonna explain these two bottoms later. We have here 3 cool cards with 3 cool features. And if we keep scrolling down, we can see the popular drinks based on the search of the people search. So if we click in the recipe browser, we're gonna be in this great page where we can find or we can search any type of cocktail by name. For example, mojito, we get all the mojitos. We also can search by letter if we don't know what we want to drink. You have here all the cocktails by letter. And also, if you know that you want to drink rum, but you don't know any cocktail, you can just type the alcohol or the beverage and you will get it, right? Also, we can filter here by non-alcoholic drinks. For example, I don't drink, and it's really hard for me when you are with friends. You never have this option. So for me, it was great to create this feature and have all these no alcohol cocktails. And actually, I've been tried a few, and the flavor is amazing. You of course can filter by alcohol, obviously. And yeah, but this is kind of boring now, right? So what about if we register? Let's go and register. You need to be 20 years old. You're gonna have here an alert that say welcome, and you're gonna be in the login page. So when you log in, you will have the favorites here, and you can start having some fun. For example, let's add this one. I actually wanna find a tequila, so I'm gonna add a tequila. I see a few here. This one, the Long Island. Yeah, and okay, having a few favorites, we can come from here, right? And we have this page where we can save all of them. So here we have the information. As you can see, we have the instructions here. We have the ingredients that we need, and we have these 2 flags. So I'm going to proceed to click the Italian flag, and you can see that the instructions change to Italian. So my grandma will thank me this. And you also can translate the language to a German, and you can have it in English, of course. So being here, we don't want you to write every ingredient that you need. So we create that you can click here, right? And you can see your shopping list. And here you have your Long Island, right? Being here, you can just check all of these ingredients, and you can also delete, but it's not all. What about if you click again? You're gonna know that that drink already exists in your shopping list. We're gonna explain now these cool cards. My wife is really similar to Peter Parker's, and she never know what she wants to drink. So we also create this cool random cocktail. And of course, there are many cocktails in the database. So you can also add it to the favorite so you can't lose it. If we come here, we have, of course, our shopping list. And on here, me and as a chef, I've been helping and consulting a lot of restaurants during my career, and we want to help you with this the secret formula, having good recipes, good concept, and good stuff. And I'm gonna show you guys how the responsive look. So give me 1 second. This is how the responsive look. As you can see, the instructions are also responsive, and our register is also responsive. Our login is also responsive. Every page is responsive, and yeah, I think I'm not missing anything in the website. So thank you so much, guys.
That was it.
Yeah.
Oh, Lucian.
This is, we're gonna keep the presentation. Abraham is going to continue with the presentation.
So in conclusion, this project allows you to understand better how things work, right? How to work the front end, how to work the back end, and all the cool stuff you can do when you build an application. So we are thinking the get any next feature. There should be something like if you have become a bartender, you will also have the another API we're going to call. That way you will see all the course by, let's say, a platform like Udemy. And if you want to know what is the cool accessory or stuff so for bartenders, we're going to use another API from Amazon. You only filter the products from bartender from there. Okay. Finally, well, I want to thank you to all 4G team for the attention, for being there in those moments where everything gets difficult and you start to question by yourself. I believe this is a profession that has different branches. You can use everything you learning in this course. Oh, just keep only a part of it and still be able to make a great profit. I'm very glad to so be part of this. Do you want to say something, Angel?
Yeah, I also want to thank the same as Abraham, George, you did a great job. I really think everything you did. My classmates were super great, super friendly, super helpful. And yeah, all the Forgets team, it's amazing, and I want to thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you guys so much. Job well done.
Well, thank you. Do you have any question?
There's a question here on campus.
Okay.
How did you all go about like organizing yourselves and delegating tasks? As this has multiple layers, amongst yourselves.
Yeah. Yeah, you can go, Abraham.
Oh, you can answer if you want.
Well, we have good communication during the project, and we use a few cards to do the ideas, the to do the concepts and the done. So we were working with that, and yeah, very a lot of communication.
One thing is you need to approach the take advantage of technology. I was working every day, but on any time when Angelo needs something, I was with my Slack on the phone, try to answer anytime. You know, try to be always in touch and wherever you are. That way you get a very fluent communication.
Awesome.
Any other questions? Okay, well, great job, guys. Another great project. Very nice presentation. And we can move right into our last project, which is Leave It to Us by Christina.
Sorry about that. Forgot to unmute myself. Hey guys, how's everybody doing tonight?
We're great. How are
So
you, Christina?
I'm doing fantastic. I got my team of one. My name's
All
Christina.
right.
When we started off with our, project, we had kind of thought about, something for people really to be able to help them with kind of a positive hobby. So we decided to kind of do ours on plants. Our kind of tagline is, we want to make you help you out, streamline, the process of, taking care of plants so that way they can just, not be just healthy, but also thrive. So a little bit about myself, and I think I might have a little bit of a delay. As far as topics that we're going to go over, we're going to introduce the hands behind the code, which is myself. Get to know a little bit closer look at Leave It to Us, some key directional choices, focusing on some of the technologies, checking out the plants, and then checking out some of our next features. Now, my passion for becoming a developer, it really kind of started with thinking I was the type of person that could actually never do coding. But it really interested me because technology obviously to me gives people a better quality of life in many different aspects, but it also you can be creative with it. So I just think there was a lot of room to really grow, actually have a job that becomes a passion versus, just something that I say, oh, hey, this is my career. Definitely is a lot of what I like about it most is that, you continue to learn. You're not kind of getting yourself into a slump, so to speak. My experience with 4Geeks has definitely been humbling, to say the least, going from property management and working for a university where, things after so many years, I was very comfortable in my roles. I knew everything frontward to backwards, it was an easy day going in. This definitely has helped me step outside my comfort zone, but I like it. It's something that I see, hey, I'm getting this. This is finally clicking. There's a lot of positive support from, not just our teammates, not just the academy, just even, looking up stuff online. It's been very, interesting, the culture for around coding. And then just also self-awareness of like, I don't have to have all the answers. I can ask the silly question. I can ask the same silly question 1,000 times, which I have to George multiple. And that's okay. That's how you learn. So that's just something that I think was really important to learn. And that I do hope, I can pass on to other people looking to learn. The slide I just passed accidentally was basically just kind of talking about the website, why we kind of decided to go that route. With looking with plants, we really wanted to make sure users had an ease of doing it. My sister loves plants. I think they're nice, but I wouldn't even know where to start. So really kind of giving users the, database to look at plants, see what they may or may not like, give them some options, small plants, plants that might bloom. You never know, you might have allergies. ones that need little water. If you're like me and you give your plants a lot too much water and kill them every time, these are things that are very, very useful to know and to kind of have at the touch of a button. So not only with, the plants, the benefits of the fact that, plants help with the quality of air, they're, you can have them inside your office, you can have them inside your apartments, on your patios. I mean, there's a lot of benefits, reducing stress, fatigue, boosting mood. But it's nice to have a hobby that you can be proud of, a hobby that you're fruitful at, a hobby that you look forward to. And that's kind of what this website was, is to really just kind of make it as easy as possible, streamline it, and then really help people be successful in that goal, because nobody wants a hobby that they come home and it's dead and it makes you sad. So key features, and we're really finding APIs to pull data. That was also one of the challenges. So that was something that we put a lot of thought into, and how we were going to do it and what information, because certain APIs had some information we needed but didn't have other information needed. So just kind of finding that balancing act between the information and pulling it. Making sure to just be able to tailor to the lifestyles and environments of your users. So here in Florida, we have great weather. We get lots of sunlight, but you may live up north. You may have to go through horrible, cold winters where you're not getting a lot of sunlight. So you need to be able to have those sort of options to take a look at. Also, too, you might not even have enough room, like myself. I have a little patio, so I would need something that would, go oversize in height to see what I may be able to use in my environment. And as far as making it easy for the users, really just kind of helping them, as they say, in commercials, set it and forget it. You add your plant to your favorites list, and then it actually sends you a reminder. It sends you an email. It sends you a notification. So that way, you're not like me. You water it every 3 days when it only needs water like every 21 days. That's how you kill it. That's how you damage your plants. So this is what we were kind of focused on with looking at the features and why we wanted to do what we did with the website. These are some of the technologies that we use, as everybody else kind of explained: Python, React, Postman for the APIs. So just really kind of getting used to all these technologies, getting the flow, knowing what to call what, knowing how to look them up, because I definitely wasted some time looking up the wrong language for things, or thinking, hey, this is close enough. Well, close enough doesn't really cut it. So this is one of the things that I think was also challenging, but it's practice, 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 as everybody will say. All right, let's get into the website. All right, so here we have Leave It to Us. What I tried to do initially is make sure that, we want to engage the user without making them, do a login. They have the option, and what that option is, when you will be able to save your own personal favorites, set up the calendar. But at least this way, if you're just curious about it, you can actually explore the different plant varieties, take a peek at it. Here at the front page, it's just going to kind of give the user an explanation of, hey, what our site's about, why come here, what are you looking for, what we have to offer. Here we're just talking about, once again, hey, we've all been guilty of, giving our plants too much love, and it being, an issue instead of being helpful. So this is where we're talking about, setting up, water and fertilizer at the most optimal times. That's helping you with that. This section right here is just going to go through, hey, we have growth stages. This way you can track You're 2 months in, what should my plants actually look like? Should they be at a certain stage? If they're not at a certain stage, we have tips and things like that that may, help you. And then of course, right here, once again, it's just going to be where you can actually click here and go to the plants, or you can click this button. So along with having the Discover plant varieties right here, this is going to go ahead and just give the user, a general look at, hey, these are, plant options that you have. You'll see the different cards where you can send to the favorites. You'll have size, blooms, water frequencies, light exposure. This is just kind of the tip of the iceberg, so to speak. Let me actually go back real quick. I already have a login. Let me just log in. All right. And all right. So like I said, this is just kind of the tip of the iceberg, but it's a good way for users to kind of start somewhere. There's so many different options that you can possibly filter by, or that we could set up, but we wanted to kind of keep it at its basic principles of what people tend to look for, at least initially. So let's say if you're looking for a small plant, or actually let's start off with, let's say if hey, you wanted a mini palm, and you just type in palm. Well, what it's going to do here is actually going to pull up all the plants that have palm, whether it's, starts with palm, ends with palm, whatever it is in the name, it's going to pull your different options for you. Now, if you wanted to just go by small plants, then you also have the opportunity of, hey, I want a small plant. You can look through, okay, look, these are all my options with my small plants. Hey, this is something the Lucky Bamboo, I can fit this on my desk at work. Or, hey, this has a interesting look. One of the other benefits of the plant cards themselves is you can actually look and see more details. And I will say, looking at the more details is pretty pertinent, because with doing this, actually, I realized there is a lot of poisonous plants that I personally didn't even realize. So you have your front part of the card here, but down here it goes over the description. It'll go over the most suitable place to keep the plant. A lot of it, if you need, you may know, hey, you have direct light, but what type of direct light? Sometimes you can't have it in direct light for so many hours, and this is where you'll find that information. It'll also go over watering tips, fertilizing tips, and down here, and I put it down here purposely because if you're like me, people tend to skim things. Usually the first and last thing catch your eye, and poisonous risk. Yes, this particular plant right here is very poisonous, and it goes over why. Because some plants, may be poisonous to children, because like this one, hey, they can snap the branches and get the sap. Cats and pets, things like that, some of them, they can't necessarily chew the item, or they're usually not going to, but so you have those different items like this that you can look at the plant card. So going back, let's say you wanted to, and here's our dashboard for the user. Now, right here is going to be kind of your one-stop shop for everything. It's going to have where you can get your favorites list. It's going to have where you actually have the plants that you currently own. You'll also be able to check your water fertilization schedule here. The icon here does this also. It'll allow you to actually search weather. So let's see here. Like here in Tampa, let's see what's going on as far as our weather goes. Tampa, light rain, maximum temperature, minute temperature. Like I said, Florida, we get super, super lucky. Let's say somebody's looking at the app, but they live in California, somewhere it may not be always as sunny. So here, San Francisco, definitely a lot colder, definitely more cloudy. So, and then over here, of course, you have your user update profile and then your plant growth gallery. Now, right now, I already have a couple plants in my plants list. Here you'll have lavender, and then you'll also have some descriptions. Like I said, you'll go through the stages. Same thing here with the African violet. It'll show the different stages that you have. So that way, if I know, hey, my plant should be at stage 2 with the time frame and it's looking like stage 1, let me look at the tips. Let me see what's going on. Hey, I might have it out in the sun too much. Maybe I have it in more direct light than it actually needs. Like this one, too much sunlight will give it pale yellow-green leaves. So these are just the kind of helpful tips that people will be able to reach out and take a look at. So going back here with our favorites list, I already got a couple favorites list right here. But let's say, like I said, my sister really, really loves plants. So I'm going to put Tammy's beauty. Oops. Plants that I may think she might like for her birthday. All right, so that's going to show up down here. Let's go looking at our plants. Now, I know that she likes really colorful plants. So what I'll do right here is maybe she'll like the elephant ear. I don't have all the time right now to look at the plant details, but hey, I want to take a look at it later. So you can come here and it's actually going to list all your favorites. So what I would do is I would just come down here, click, put it in my sister's birthday list. But let's say I'm looking at myself and I'm like, hey, it's also maybe something that I want to buy for myself. I like the color, I like red. I want to buy it, you know, maybe this weekend. So I'm going to put it, well, let me just put it in my plants because I know for sure I'm going to buy it this weekend. So that's the nice thing. Just because you send your plant to one list doesn't mean it's going to take it off your options. You can send it to multiple different lists. Same thing is going to go for the this one. So let's see. And let's do the peace lily. And actually, let's buy this one and the jade because it's supposed to be for good luck. All right, so now I've gotten my list and then I'm thinking, oh man, you know what? Maybe I need to get something that's low water because once again, I overwater things. I kill things. Actually, maybe not. Maybe I need something that's high water. Let's take a look at that. Maybe that way I can have something survive. So let me put that in my plants because I'll get that this weekend and then I can put this one in blooming. All right, so let's go back. So when you come here, boom. Let's say later tomorrow when I'm actually at the store, I can come here, I can click my sister's list that I made and it shows the elephant ear, the African violet, the peace lily. I can still take a look at the plant details. And let's see, oh, look, I wouldn't get this one. My sister has kids, so this one's super poisonous. Not going to be the best thing for me to actually get her. So, oops. Let me actually go ahead and delete that one. All right. And then let's say maybe I just wanted to delete the whole list in itself. I can go ahead and do that. Same thing with the blooming plants. Maybe I decided I have allergies. And the biggest thing is going to be this section, the My Plants. So any plants that go into your My Plants, they're actually going to go into this My Plants section. And you'll be able to see it again and tweak it. But the biggest thing is that this is actually going to connect with your calendar. This is where you're going to be able to see, hey, look, these are the plants that I own. This is what I need to do specifically. I need to water these on these dates. I need to go ahead and fertilize them on these dates. And it's going to break it out and it goes into the future months too. So it's really, really great to be able to kind of do that and keep everything in one place. So that way, you know, how to really prepare with your plants. And then of course you have your logging out. Now let me go back to our project or the slides. My apologies. All right, so once again, kind of talked about the challenges a little bit earlier. Another one was really just kind of going down a rabbit hole when you're problem solving. Kind of like the guys pointed out before, you know, you want to do so much and you have these great ideas and you're like, man, this would be cool. And you get excited, which is great. And that's the one thing I love about stepping into this career path. Even though something seems hard, it's still engaging. Just really learning the back and flow of the code, because when you realize the flow and you're kind of doing things in a specific order, it does save a lot of time from having to go back and forth, thinking, oh man, I should have fixed this real quick and then it's going to affect this, and kind of doing that. So those are kind of the challenges that I look forward to, you know, overcoming and practicing here in the future. And then of course, future features. Ideally, I would love for the users to actually get text messages sent to their phones. Another thing is, you know, the green thumb gallery. Everybody likes to show off when they've, you know, got something that they're proud of. And, you know, plant lovers are no different. So this is something where they can swap with other users, which also helps with the engagement with the website, and, you know, swap photos, give tips. Ideally under the stages, let's say you decided to use a different type of fertilizer, or, you know, wise tail, using eggshells, you know, and you decided to use that and it really helped with your fertilizing and your plant growth. Those are things we really want users to be able to share back and forth and actually document for themselves, so they kind of have a working progress report of, you know, where they were, where they've come from, and what will help them in the future. And then another thing was actually just like a scan and email function. And this would be for people that maybe aren't sure about plants, but you're like, hey, I got the perfect plant in mind for you. This is the space you have on your patio. Let me, you know, scan this barcode, or let me email you this information. And being able to give people a little snapshot like the card saying, hey, you might like this, and just kind of spreading the love and really, you know, getting more people into the hobby. So, and then I just want to give a special thanks, of course, to my classmates once again, for letting me ask 1,000 questions and the same question over and over again, and actually messaging me when I did speak up saying, hey, thanks for asking. It definitely helped with me not being so reserved when it comes to the learning process. Of course, George, always having a positive connection with the class, being supportive. I mean, that definitely made a huge difference. And I know Brandon's not here. He's my daily tutor, and I know it gave him gray hairs. So I definitely think he deserves a shout out. Did anybody have any questions? I'm guessing that's a no, or the mic's just slow.
Probably, yeah, probably not. But you actually did a great job covering everything. So I think that was a very good presentation. Thank you, Christina. And again, I just
Hello?
wanted to, yes, do you guys have questions on campus?
Yes. So for your approach with the app, what was the first, I guess, task that you wanted to tackle with creating this?
The first task was really just deciding what plant information, and finding, really nailing that down, because I'll be honest with you, I actually pulled more information thinking I was going to use it and didn't use a good portion of it. So that was kind of like the first step, because I needed to know how the plant information was going to come through, what was going to come through, so that way we could start with, you know, the plant card. That's kind of like the main piece, and everything was kind of built off of that.
Cool. Yeah, this is Alan with Grammar Hub. So kudos to you, right? I mean, it's challenging enough to do, you know, a project, you know, in 2 weeks. And on top of that, you know, you did that by yourself, and, you know, with the help of, you know, the 4 gigs too. So just like, yeah, and this is actually an app that I probably will use at home because I killed many plants on my own. Too much water.
We could
But
be
just like I
friends
was telling,
because
yes, I think like just like I was mentioning to the first team, you know, continue working on this code, and same for the other teams, you know, for the other programmers, developers to continue, because these sites are your business cards, right? These are your introduction to talk to other people locally, or just as you keep networking. And the other thing is, like, great that you're in Tampa. We have many people that join from Tampa on Mondays at Grammar Hub, you know, Tampa, Kentucky, New York, London too, I guess now, and Miami too. But the yeah, networking, if I didn't mention that earlier, also keep building that, and, you know, use these apps, keep working on them to work.
thank you.
Any other questions?
Not a
Okay,
question,
well,
but a
great
comment.
job. Oh, sorry, go ahead. Yes, go ahead.
That was a great job, Christina. You did really, really well.
Yes.
Favorite presentation. Really awesome.
Thank you.
Yes, Christina had 2 more team members at the start, and they both ended up leaving the cohort for various reasons. So she finished the project all on her own. So congrats
Extra
to
points
her.
for that. Yes, very good job, Christina. Congrats.
The best way to learn.
Mhm.
Does anybody else have any questions or comments? Okay, well, that concludes our project presentation. So congratulations to all of you. You guys did it. Your cohort 31 is officially over. You guys graduated, so congratulations. Today's Friday, so I hope you guys enjoy a drink this weekend, maybe a drink you find off of the drink link, and celebrate your graduation. And then next week on Monday, our career support team will be reaching out to you guys. We'll get you guys started on your career support process, but at least you guys can have a few nights to yourself and relax and enjoy, because you guys did really great and graduated your cohort today. So that's something you guys should be really proud of. So thank you again to our speakers for coming. Thank you guys again for great presentations. Did anybody else have anything to add before we close out the night?
Need to hop on the drink link and get some recipes, and then I'm gonna talk to Michael about some pizzas.
Yeah, I think a future
Sounds like a plan.
feature. I think a future feature of your app would be, guys, to figure out how to make the app actually also make the drink. That'll be the best part, so I don't have to deal with it.
Great job, everyone.
Yeah, good job, guys. Congrats on
Yes.
graduating.
All good one, everybody. Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah,
Good job,
great job,
guys.
guys.
Have a great night, and we'll talk to you guys soon.
All right, thanks, guys.
Have a good
Thank
weekend,
you, everyone.
guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Have a good
Enjoy.
weekend, everyone.